Hey, y'all. Day 23. It has been a struggle, as you can see, as evidenced by this hat that is so unserious on my head. Listen, we missed our first live stream last night because I was sick. Turns out I had uh what's it called? See, I've been asleep for pretty much 2 days on antibiotics and some cream. What is this? I have a Lord, my God, I am tripping. It's basically an abscess on my back. I can't think of the word of it right now. I'm tripping. But yeah, so my hair is so ridiculous underneath this hat. I literally had to put on one of Jose's hat to just try to, yeah, because I couldn't raise my arm to wash my hair. So love me as I am. So, needless to say, we're back. I'm not 100%, but I'm way better than I have been. So, thank God for that. So, I only have two small updates. Well, I don't know how small they are, but two smallish updates. Let me make sure y'all can hear me. Look, I missed it a whole day, and here we are. Nothing's changed. Um, Actually, I have it up on the TV screen, so I probably could just pop into Jose's profile and just check to make sure that y'all can hear me. Um, so I had okay, yeah, perfect. I had the branding meeting this morning at 11 a.m. with Guiding Brands. So I got to meet her partner. It went very well. Um, it was eye opening to a certain degree. Let me take these glasses off because I'm not really going to different pages tonight. So I don't really need to be able to see that great. I'm just giving y'all my little updates. So I got to meet her partner, her business partner. Um, I don't want to say it was discouraging. It wasn't discouraging. I'm glad they were very honest with me about what could and couldn't be done at my price point. So at this point, I told her let's link up next week and discuss our options. I Ideally I would be like to work with one company and get everything done so that the brand can be cohesive. But at this very moment, I'm a little bit overwhelmed with the cost of it. So again, I still have to speak to the one other company. So, I still want to have that conversation and see what that's looking like. I am so ashamed to be on here looking like I know I'll be on here looking kind of rough, but like this is even past rough for me. But I promise myself, if I can, I'm gonna get on here no matter what. So yeah. So I do want to still have that second conversation. I've pretty much the third company, I'm just counting them out. They have been unresponsive. So, it's been what, 2 weeks? It's been like 2 weeks since we sent out those fillers. So I'm not gonna waste my time. Like if they can't be responsive to an inquiry, I don't want to be dealing with a company that's flaky like that. So they're out of the picture completely. So right now it's just the Guiding Brands company that I'm talking to right now. Um, I really had a good conversation with them today. It was supposed to be just like a quick call, but we kind of went way deeper than I anticipated us going. It did bring up a lot of questions for me internally as far as like what does the business part of it really look like the structure of it, and also how far, like, am I what was the question? Am I so invested to what was the question that I was kind of like, is it worth the squeeze for me to go ahead and put all this money into the branding if I haven't proven the concept yet? And I'm like, that's a good question, because I felt like I wanted to jump the gun and go ahead and get my landing page out there to just start seeing what the buy-in from my community is for the idea to prove the concept. But at the same time, I don't want to put a certain branding out there to prove the concept, and then when I actually do pull the trigger, so to speak, and get my branding, like get all of my packaging together, and then it's like, wait, is this even the same company? So I'm kind of torn about that. I'm like 50-50. Like I feel like I need to prove the concept, branding be damned, excuse me, but um so that's where I'm at right now. I'm just kind of grappling with everything that came from that conversation. So I'm definitely not I'm definitely not discouraged, but I'm like, okay, I got to do some soul searching. Like I said, I want this thing. I really want to move forward with it. But what does that look like realistically? Like I still have a household to take care of. Like I'm following my dreams, but I don't want to be foolish with the money because I know that this is going to be an expensive endeavor. And it's like, okay, is the branding packaging, if I spend that much upfront on branding and packaging, how much am I going to cut away from what my end product could really be? Like I may have to cut back, um, or even my budget. I'm going to have to really look at it. Like I'm going to have to really sit down and do a serious budget and not just be doing this kind of fly by the seat of my pants, you know, way I've been moving. Because I mean, it's still a brand new, like it was a brand new idea, and I'm just trying to take massive action and just keep moving forward, but at the same time, not at the detriment to myself and my household. So, and the end product at the end of the day. So, yeah, I'm gonna take a step back, not too far back, but I really want to sit with this weekend and determine how far I'm going to go with proving the concept. Like it's all dead in the water if the concept is trash. Like I feel like it's a really good idea. I feel like as cheap as I am, when I would need it, I would actually use something like this. So but I'm in a different stage in my life. So what works for me may not work for the creator that I have in mind. Like I'm looking at somebody that was in my position 10 years ago, like, a struggling creative, we barely getting furniture in the house, nonetheless trying to go and chase my dream. Like we were barely making it. So yeah, I gotta really sit this weekend and come up with what really makes sense. Um, and prove this concept one way or another. So we'll see where that leads. I'm gonna give myself the weekend. Like I say, I'm still healing from this. I can't even think what the name of it is, yo. That's how like I have been, it was mad painful. What is a cyst? It was a cyst on my back that had got infected. Um, and it was mad painful. I went to urgent care and the doctor was like, yo, it ain't even ready to be Lance. Like, I'm like, well, if it's this painful and it ain't ready for you to do nothing to it, what? I've never had this before, so I didn't know. And I'm like, so people that have had a cyst that they've gone to the doctor that they had to lance it or do surgery on it, like how painful is that stage? Because I like to think of myself as a G. Like I have a very high tolerance for pain. Having had really painful cycles my whole life, so I really have a high tolerance for pain. But yo, your girl was about to. I was like, I cannot move like this. Like I couldn't sleep. So, anywho, I don't mean to dump on y'all, but that was the reality of my last couple of days. So it's still uncomfortable, but it's not painful. It's just like tender. So that's where we are. So that's why I missed yesterday. Like I was just out of it. I slept. I guess that was my body fighting the infection off because I slept like I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was just out of it. I slept majority of the day yesterday and a lot of this morning. So, well, a lot of this day. I don't want to say this morning. So that's why I'm so late getting on here tonight. Even though I was home and I was like, oh, it's almost midnight. I got to get on here before midnight so that I can still be on technically Friday. Because we missed Thursday's upload, well, live stream. So that was one thing. What was the other thing? Yeah, so the branding conversation. Um, what's next basically is me this weekend, like really sitting down. I still have one more conversation to have with another company. They're more of a marketing company, but um they have access to like branding. Um, they could get my branding done as part of the package. So that's gonna happen later this week. So I'll keep you posted when that actually manifests itself. What else? So not a lot happened. I checked my LLC still hasn't come in yet. So we're still standing by. We can't really make any other moves until that's completed. So um I know it's coming, but it's just kind of frustrating waiting on it. So I'm glad I did it early on and I'm not like needing to have a business bank account already. But yeah, I need that to come on and come through so we can go ahead and move to the next step. But I guess it's okay since I need to really work on proving the concept. So I don't know. This weekend I feel like my goal was to have a landing page up by next weekend so that I could start pushing that and getting some feedback from the community, my local creators. But they brought up some really good questions that made me feel like, okay, do I know my avatar? Do I know my customer as well as I thought I did? Um, so I feel like I need to kind of refine that, like who I'm speaking to specifically. He made the guy's name was Steven, I believe. I'm pretty sure his name was Steven. But he had asked a question regarding um yeah, I have a certain target, but within that target, like who am I speaking to specifically? Like, okay, yeah, it's podcasters and visual creators, but within that, that's a broad, that's still a broad range of people. So I was like, well, I think he said podcasters, and I was like, well, I'm looking more for like visual podcasters. But even within that, it's like, okay, that's still really broad range. It's like, okay, just because you got a visual podcast, I could be talking about entrepreneurship. I could be talking about lifestyle. I could be a lifestyle vlogger. I could be a lifestyle podcaster. I could be talking about finance. I could be talking about banking. Like I could be talking about anything as a visual podcaster. So that was like I didn't look at it that way because I felt like visual, if there's a lot of podcasters, there's a lot of content creators. So most you have people that are into film and photography, you have people that are completely podcast like audio only. When I started podcasting, I was 100% audio only. I didn't want to have nothing to do with no video production, point blank, period. So those people would not be in my target audience at all because, well, I won't say that. They would be on the outskirts, like they could use the space, but that's not who I'm targeting. Um, so yeah, it's brought up a lot of questions that I need to answer and be really sure on because when you're creating that landing page, when I'm creating it, I need to be speaking the language that that person is going to resonate with. So I'm thankful that I have a marketing background because I get it. I get exactly what he's saying. So that will be helpful, but at the same time I feel like I'm so close to the project because I feel like I am I am my target audience, but I'm not really because I'm in a different tax bracket now. Like, we ain't ballers, but we do okay. So, you know, a certain dollar amount I could swing versus 10 years ago, Janae could not swing, a certain dollar amount every month. Like that would just be like, yeah, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Not on a consistent basis. I might could do it here and there, but I wouldn't be able to be consistent with it. I want to say even $50 a month. I feel like I wouldn't have been able to justify it for my household to spend $50 a month to rent somewhere to go create content. I just wouldn't have been able to. Like, we were paycheck to paycheck. Like technically, I won't say we still paycheck to paycheck. We still got some wiggle room, but it's it was way tighter than it is now. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, we not eating out, like we making our lunches, like we were towing the line. So I understand what that, having that hunger and wanting to get it. So doing everything I could, creating my own graphics, doing everything I could on my own. So I understand that hustle, but I also understand being practical that, I I would have to make it justifiable, and I need to be speaking to a certain demographic of my audience that do see the value in it and have the funding available to be able to, like, they may be a smaller creator, but they're not like hand to mouth right now. They're a little bit further along where they can afford, even if it's a small amount. I'm not trying to bust heads on the rental fee, but I still gonna have overhead costs that I want to cover. So there's that. Um, he did ask me what did I feel like was gonna be the hardest thing for me to get past in the beginning stages. And I was like, I felt like finding a location that works for the idea that I have is going to be the hardest thing, because just the little bit of research that I've done right now, on LoopNet, just the few little things I've looked at so far, pickings is slim. And especially for the vision that I have in my head. So I think this is going to be, that is what I told him I felt like was going to be the biggest stumbling block to me moving forward right now. But now I'm not so sure. Honestly, I'm like, I really have to sit with this weekend and figure out that piece. Like I feel like I'm not clear, whereas I thought I was pretty clear. So yeah. So some good news, some not so good news. I guess you could consider. The good news is I'm feeling a lot better, but we got a long road to go. Granted, like I was telling him, this idea is super new. Like, not even 2 months ago, I didn't even have the idea to open a content studio, or at least I wasn't planning to open a content studio. So I'm gonna give myself some grace in this go, go, go. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna give myself some grace that um, I don't have to have it all figured out today. This is a process. And whether we open in 90 days or we open in 190 days, like it's okay. Nobody has a gun to my back, like you got to open the doors tomorrow. It's me pressuring myself to get it done because I want to still every day have some massive action to show for what I'm doing here. Like, I don't want to get stagnant, and I am a known procrastinator, and all I need is an excuse to fall back into old habits and be like, okay, well, I won't know the answer to this, so I can't do the next step, if that makes sense. So you know, I'm still encouraged. I'm still gonna move forward, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. I don't really have a plan yet for what I'm doing tomorrow. I know that I am this weekend taking this time to really hone in on those questions that now I have doubt of in my own self, and really refining what that person looks like, you know, what speaks to their heart. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have a better update. But that's where we are right now. It is actually midnight now, so I will talk to you later on today. And look, I'm on the same page as my stream. Oh, before I get off, I was on YouTube not too long ago, and one of the guys I follow on Pinterest, and he also drops a lot of gems on a lot of different social media sites, and he was talking about opening a business bank account. How apropos, right? And he was saying that this it's a really good system, and I think it's called Riley or something like that. It starts with a Y, a R. Oh man. Oh shoot, never mind. I'm on Jose profile now. I forgot, but I'll put that tomorrow. I'll make sure to put that in the well, maybe tonight if I get time. I'll go back, and in this description I'll put the link to whatever that that bank is. That it's an online bank, but it looked really good. Like the way he was explaining, and I'm like, oh, this looks really good, especially for businesses. So yeah, I'm not affiliated, but you never know. By the time anybody's watching this in the future, it might be helpful. So I'll share what I found today. I'm gonna look more deeply into it, but it looked like it was super simple to set up. It looked like it will work really well for businesses because you could set out like 5 different accounts so that you could set it up where your money could just automatically, like you could pay yourself, you could pay your taxes, and it would just automatically, as money goes into the account, it would just automatically divvy those out for you. So that looked dope. Like I was like, wow, that's something. So all right, good night for real this time. I'll see you tomorrow. Well, good morning. I'll see you in a couple hours.